All right, welcome back. If you're just joining us, you're still at the fresh start of the series. We're in game number 2. It's a best of 7. Lots of matches ahead of us. Even if it's a 4-0, that's still 4 games for the finals, which is awesome. And I wish more tournaments would do that, but that's another debate, another can of worms. I'm Rifkin, joined this morning by Zombie Grub. We're getting really close to the end of it, guys. Spawning the top right corner of the map. He's going to be the red Zerg player for Maxium. Currently down 1 at the moment, but I've got some faith in Impact.
The bottom right's Oz, the TL Terran. Its MVP's center. Building a supply depot down at the front.
Yeah, a little bit interesting about that, but with the SUV going up for the scout, I'm really curious to see if this will be for some cheese or not. There's a pretty good chance he doesn't want to play the long game on Deadwing against somebody like Impact, but I mean, that game just now, Foxtrot Labs, I just want to kind of sit here, like, without recapping anything, just it was well played.
It's gonna be a 2-rax, and it's gonna be scouted. Whoopsie.
Well, oh, maybe not. No. Okay, there we go. There. The
Okay.
1 grid mark. Awkward. So he puts this a little bit closer to the middle of the map because, of course, he doesn't know whether Impact spawns in the top right or the top left, but lucks out and happens to be on the map he's slightly closer to. But with this being scouted the way it is, I'm curious to see how the follow-up's going to be. Impact obviously goes for the pool first here, but, I mean, center... Is he going to pull the SCVs? Is he going to go for the safety bunker? There's a lot of what-ifs to how you execute this 2-rax. But obviously, as we saw, one of the worst ones is just kind of YOLO with a bunch of Marines and try to kill something.
Yeah, the fact that Impact went for a pull first again is just... I don't know. I guess I didn't watch those last games. Otherwise, he wouldn't try this at all.
Well, the thing about a 2-rax, though, even the players with the best defenses of it still die to it once in a while.
Sometimes. I can't imagine what, it's gonna go back to that supernova thing, like, maybe he does the surprise, hey, 20 Marines, let's see what you have, but otherwise, I don't know if it's gonna work. One of the downsides about not getting the hatchery first is that you don't have that creep spread already to build the spine crawler, but you have lings, and he's pulling drones too, and that's just as good. It's even better.
Well, stutter stepping away, the problem is as you stutter step away, you also move away from your bunkers, so he is going to ultimately get surrounded. Well, actually, he barely squeezes these guys out, but 2 more coming, and I kind of wish he had rallied those straight to the bunker.
Yeah, now he's never gonna be able to get to the bunker. And there are more lings out, like Impact's like, okay, I got this, which he does have it, but he's not playing it too...
Nice positioning here, wow. That actually had the SUV sort of body blocking for that Marine, but finally cleans up the last couple lings. Doesn't have a whole lot of Marines to work with, but Impact doesn't have a lot of lings to work with either.
I'm like, what are you doing? 2 lings can't beat 2 Marines. Can barely beat 1.
Well, in a move command scenario.
Yeah.
Might as well salvage that bunker.
Down.
Yeah,
even if the 2 Marines get in it, like, what does it matter?
Not salvaging is going to be huge. That's a lot of money in a 2-rax scenario.
He's gonna salvage.
Barely. Wow. Last moment there. Needs to get that CC, I'd say, in the wall. Don't do the low ground. Whoa, that is some balls on center. This is a scenario where, like, if you do 3 CC behind this and, like, you put it part of your wall at the front, that actually works out pretty well. And we've seen players certainly macro out of it, but if he's doing this, he has to keep the aggression on. It's not about, like, he wants to or should, but he has to, because if lings run by, they come and kill the SCV, this command center gets canceled, and...
Yeah, we saw that from Supernova.
Yeah. End up Shit Creek.
Yeah, it wasn't too good. So it looks like Center is going to try and just surprise Impact with a follow-up, but Impact was mindful of getting a spine crawler. Buys them just enough time. They'll have a transfuse as well. It's not going to bother bringing down creep, not yet anyways.
But I mean, the spine crawler is objectively scary, but as we saw, if you've got enough Marines stuttering in, the problem is this time Impact has a transfuse, whereas last time we saw this he didn't, so everything just kind of died pretty quick.
Exactly, and it did buy him enough time to follow up and take care of the army. So the point is that Center's not going to be able to do like damage that brings him up, and oh my god, a 3rd command center on the low ground.
What this? Can we just take a moment to acknowledge that Center apparently has the biggest balls in all of Korea? Like,
I love
someone
when, like,
get this checked out by a doctor. Seriously, I'm concerned.
when Flash did something like really like cheesy or something at MLG, I remember Total Biscuit was casting, and he was like, what did he say? Something like someone has to like, I'm surprised he can fit in that booth when his balls are so big.
Well, I mean, the sentiment really gets echoed here, because all it takes is just two Zerglings to devastate this back when this was just this base, but
Well, the one thing that Impact was really missing from this game is that he did not immediately follow up this defense with a gas, so he doesn't have that speed. And in fact, he had over 100, so he's literally on that too. If he had speed, he almost certainly would try and run past the Marines. But now he's gonna be a base behind after defending a T-Rex. I don't know how often I can say that, but it's like a literal base too, like not like this like third TC and base crap. No, it's actually down. You know what? If you're just gonna take it this next step, just put the barracks in front of that third wall off. Don't put it back on your main base. Start walling off that third.
It's weird.
Chobo.
The mentality coming into this. I mean, on one hand, Center, like, he's obviously aiming for the macro game, right? Hold on, 1 sec. That's the consequence of waking up at 3 a.m. there, that yawn. Sorry. But with the third CC up and running, this is not just for the extra SCV production, which he is behind on, but it's the mules. This is the money. This is his income. This is his lifeblood. And while he's only just now getting the production up, is why he's got money floating, because he doesn't have anything to spend it on just yet. But when those reactors finish, oh boy, we're going to see a lot of Marines start coming out. Is he going to go for the defensive tank? He is going to go for the defensive tank.
Super important, because Impact was to be going for the... Oh, maybe not. Okay, 2 Evo Chambers are going to go down. So I thought maybe he's going to go for Roach Baling all in with that fake third again, but with the 2 Evo Chambers, he's going to, drone up. So the safety tank is a good idea. Awesome idea. Not really going to save his life this time.
Splitting up the Marines, trying to catch these Lings. Really doesn't want this to get out of hand. Or scout anything, really. But, well, I mean, seeing this third CC is a pretty big scout. Just the fact that it's on location.
I don't think that's a wall off on the left of that bunker.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
You'll be
fix that?
You'll be cool. I would have loved if this was like the second CC. Like this was like a Mind Games third base or something stupid.
I feel like we've seen that happen.
Not that I can recollect. Maybe, but either way, it's not. So it's not that big of a deal. But Impact, he takes all these 3 bases. Well, he's going on behind this. He's just. I don't think gauged that he isn't a pretty. For him, it might still feel a little bit pressured. Like, okay, I dealt with the 2 racks really well, but what's he doing behind this? He's got a third CC. Maybe I'm the one who's in trouble. But I feel pretty good about Impact's position right now. I mean, this push coming is a little bit scary, but as long as Impact stops making drones and starts making literally anything else, he'll be okay. I mean, it's upgraded less Marines, no combat shields, no stim. This one tank is probably the scariest part of this.
Yeah. It is, but there's just so much creep already that I feel like if there was no creep, you get up right up there and there's, the banelings aren't fast, the lings aren't fast, but with the creep, I'm not feeling so hot about this. The one usual thing is that, like, medevacs are, timing up with this, but not in this situation, so he's just gonna kind of, like, awkwardly run around and back.
Right, I guess the thing, too, is, like, if he's not clearing up creep, maybe he had the intentions of sieging up down here, but what would he have used for high ground vision? I mean, it was just an odd move out of Center to come out like this. Not that it was bad versus good objectively, and no consequence.
I remember a long time ago, where like that was like the one thing you had to do was just like scare your opponent, but you never were serious. Now it's come to a point where like you got your Hellions that could actually do damage. You got the medevacs at 12 minutes that could actually do damage. This seems like I can't actually do damage, but I'm going to scare you to see that just to make you think that it could.
Well, this is quite a few Bailings starting to bulk up. Speed is nearing completion. As long as he fights on creep, Center's gotta be very, very careful. This is, I mean, such a delicate situation.
Impact is really gearing up to go and just like, swamp this. He's gonna have such a large concave. Yeah, there he goes.
Soak the hit from that tank really nicely, actually. Oh, Zerglings hold this army in place, forces that pickup immediately, kills everything left on the ground afterwards, and continues to pursue forward. These depots are down, lifts them up. Okay.
I think Impact might be looking to go ahead and just Baneling bust here. Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
I don't know if he's quite got the numbers for this just yet. These Banelings, if they can connect, would be really nice. Everything outside of the range of the Widow Mines. Yeah, how did none of those scumbag Winnemines? Now they're gonna start going off here, and a couple of the Lings on the retreat. But here comes those Banelings. This SCV line. The SCV line, maybe no. Okay, he's just gonna go for the natural instead. Bust up here, but there's nothing for it to bust. These are the most awkward Banelings ever.
There is a drop at the natural. Impact really doesn't have anything to deal with it. He has the queens. He has the Lings that were supposed to be reinforcing this attack, not coming back. Can't Cinder bring it back after being busted.
I'm surprised.
Oh, these Banelings. Oh, these Banelings. Not that bad. Not that bad.
Why did he do this third? Like, there's so many SCVs here. I don't know why he chose to go all the way through the main like that. He bled out so many Banelings on just what was the awkward amounts of like 2 Marines spawning out of a the reactor barracks at a time. I mean, I guess Impact, he holds at home. He cleans up behind this. He's not behind by any means. He's got 71 workers. He's still in a good spot after this attack. But I just felt like that could have been much more devastating for him.
I agree. Because it only takes 2 Banelings to kill a large amount of SCVs when there's a good saturation like this. So
exactly.
Could have done more for sure. But like you said, he's not like super far behind. Like his 4th was later. He did get a Spire, but didn't get any mutas, so he doesn't have any anti-air. And his upgrades are behind, but I feel like if I wasn't so convinced that Center has a better macro game after that first game that we cast, I would be feeling pretty good for Impact. But considering he had a tough time dealing with Center's mid-late game in a normal game, I don't know who's going to do it here.
Well, I'm digging this creep spread out of Impact. I mean, he's got this map unlocked, and he's got Overlords on the other sides of the map. I mean, if we just look at his vision alone, there's no medevac that's sneaking by anything.
Yeah,
and if it does, I don't know how it does.
It is really, really good. Once like Center supply block right now, I think if he pushes out with this, he's gonna get swamped, which is not what I was thinking at all. I was thinking when he had like that, the Thor, the 180 army, he would actually start crushing Impact. But this is just really, really, this is scary for Center. There's a lot of creep. All of the mutas went into the main though. That's what's the red dots lining up across here. But there's also a drop at the natural doing a lot of damage.
Actually, getting the reactors is pretty going to be pretty big deal. Looks like Banelings did clean up that Terran drop, but the mutalisks are more than enough to deal with the current production values coming out of this, but not the reinforcements that come back. So, going to chase northwards into Thor, into Marines.
Ooh, that was a little bit scary. Impact though has really great muta control. Really fantastic. If the Thor chain wasn't there, if the Widowmine wasn't there, we'd still see him, going up to this absurd amount of mutas and doing all the counterattacks, but doing a lot with just relatively a little mutas.
And this is, whatever. I mean, this is what I alluded to earlier when I was trying to describe his muta control. It's not something that's like, oh my god, it's so good. He dodges Marines, he slices Julian fries. I mean, it's like he pulls the army back, and that's exactly what these needed to do. Oh, those Widowmines. I just got the tail end of those detonations, but they went off on just about everything possible. Oh, yeah, it's so unfortunate.
Not the Banelings, but got rid of all of the Lings, and you need to have both most of the time. These units still dealing a lot of damage, and they're just not finding the minerals to put down any security missile turrets, and which means, I mean, I really think you should just pull back, deal with this, maybe get a force built command center, and play it like that. If he tries to push after this,
man, he's always on Impact's ass here. Like, Impact wants to. He's like, yo, can you just quit forcing me to attack you? Like, I love killing your SCVs and all, but I want to go home, man.
It's true. Well, Center is getting up to that max account, and the Terran army is getting really, really hard to beat the max account, maxed army. Really needs to start investing into a 4th command center, but also a couple of missile turrets. It's just getting out of hand.
This is kind of an interesting scenario to come to, because we're getting towards that hive tech, right? Like, the infestation pit's on the way. Maybe some infestors or two might be not a terrible choice, but I mean, I'm loving these segments off here. But the problem is, as we get to the later game, this is where ultras are going to start replacing these brilliant moves here, where you segment off Zerglings and Banelings, go for a run by. Oh, this is actually really awkward. Because the army's at home.
Gonna catch Marauders. Useless, absolutely useless. Because one Marauder, that's it.
Yeah. Tries to engage on the north side while this is happening. There are a hell of a lot of Widowmines here for Center, though. An Impact. Oh, he's gonna swamp.
On the creep, though.
He's gonna swamp. No. He's gonna devastate.
Mistakes were made. Mistakes were made.
Does he have enough to finish off the couple Marines in the back? Looks like just barely. The Mutalisks will be able to win this. He's gonna pick off a lot of the medevacs, which is nice. Don't clump up for this Thor, though. Oh no!
The Lings just took out the entirety of the third.
Oh wow. Yeah, 21 SCVs dead while that was going on. So Impact ties up the series now 1-1.
The mutas just tearing Center apart. Center, you know, I think actually if he was more patient about it, he could have maybe made that not look like such a stomp, but he got frustrated, I guess. And, you know, he wasn't really, like, despite, like, the Impact not getting the most out of that Baneling bust, he still got, you know, a good position, so.
He got what he needed, I think it was like.
Yeah, I still think Center could have done it better to bring it back, more patient, get on the fourth, like, I don't know. Like, ultras don't really scare me. When I hear ultras, I'm just like, well, maybe, but usually we just see the Zerg player die, so.
Yeah. Well, guys, we're going to play